So we'll just go ahead and get started because this is going to be a 30-minute spot. I hope everyone can hear me. It seems like the audio is working well. If you can't hear me, please, please, please drop it in the chat. All right. So this is an interesting topic I want to talk about today, which is how you can advocate for yourself in your career or business. So we're going to tackle two different avenues, whether you're a career professional or you're a business professional. And I'll also be using some real life um, stories to illustrate why self advocacy is so important. Is it uncomfortable when you're in certain settings? Whether you're going for a job, interviewing for a job, or whether you are in business. Yes, it can be very uncomfortable, but it is um, a skill set that you'll get better and better with practice. Um, so let's turn to the career piece, right? I think a lot of times when people um, are seeking employment, maybe they're seeking employment or looking for alternative employment. Um, the and they're interviewing with jobs, the biggest elephant in the room is salary, right? Nobody wants to broach salary, right? They don't want to get let down or um, deal with that barrier. So they just don't talk about it and just um, wait till the employer offers what they offer. And a lot of times they just accept what the employer offers, right? Because they don't want to have those difficult conversations like, you know what, that actually isn't what I can take right now. I need more, right? That's the bargaining is a uncomfortable place to be in, especially if you don't have employment at the time and really need a job. A lot of people will just take what they're given and then regret it later, right? Um, this is something I'm not uncomfortable with at all, to be honest with you. I've learned a lot from my past mistakes of just taking whatever I was given and not trying to, um, especially in my 20s and my 30s, I was very much like avoidance was the best strategy, right? Just don't ask about salary, take what they give you, don't make a big fuss. You want the job, you need the job, just take what they give. And then as I came into my 40s, and I think when you get to your 40s, you're like, you have an IDGAF attitude. You're like, at this point, I'm going to take a little bit more risk because I'm not, I've learned the hardships of doing it that way, right? Of avoiding the conversation, of avoiding the negotiation part of the salary discussions. And so that's all I've been doing in my 40s. I'd never take the first offer for a job. I am very quick to ask, even in the pre-screen, even in the screening, even in the interview process, I'm very quick to ask, what's the salary? I need to know, I don't know what's this going on in here, but my computer's doing something wonky. I need to know what I'm going to be offered because it's about livelihood, it's about satisfaction, it's about comfortability. And if I'm being offered something that I cannot live on, then I'm not going to show up as my best self at work. And I've actually told jobs that if I take this salary, I know I'm not going to show up as my best self at work, which will be a detriment to y'all. So I need something that I can be comfortable with. And so negotiation is part of my game. Um, every job I've had in my 40s, I've negotiated the salary. I've never taken the first offer. So let me give you an example of a situation in which, um, well, first of all, let me tell you why I don't take the first offer because the company can come up more. Always. Don't ever think the company can't come up more. The first offer is the low ball offer, which should be common sense, but a lot of people think the first offer is the highest they can give you. No, it's the low ball offer. And I've time and time again, as I've gone through these negotiations, because I negotiate like an entrepreneur. I don't negotiate an employee. I negotiate like a B2B kind of situation. And in this recent situation, I was looking for a different type of position. I'm currently employed, but I was looking for a different type of position. And this position, this was actually something they were offering me as a supervisor. I didn't even apply for a supervisor position, but they saw my qualifications and felt I was better suited as a supervisor. And supervising 16 people, really eight, but those eight people have people under them. So, 16 people. And the salary was low. I didn't know what the salary was until the interview process. They didn't have the salary listed, which is another um, indicator that the salary would be low, right? If they don't list it. The salary, when I finished the interview process and asked about salary range, the salary was much lower than I expected, given that I was going to be in a supervisor position. And so I was very frank, like that is well, I didn't say in the interview, but I did say to HR when they contacted me to offer me the position, I said, I'm so sorry, but that salary range is way too low. I don't think I can accommodate that. And they were like, okay, well, and I thought that was it. That was it, the conversation. I, said thank you for the opportunity and had moved on. I really had moved on. They called me back and they offered me $5,000 more after telling me that this was what they were able to offer me the first time, that this was the amount that they offered me the first time was it, right? Came suddenly now they're coming up off for more money. So they offered me $5,000 more. And I said, um, again, I'm so sorry that that's not going to accommodate, the things that I'm trying to do in my life. I was very transparent. I told them I'm trying to go back to school, get my doctorate, and I have to make sure that whatever I am working for in terms of salary, that it accommodates that new change in my life as well as my normal daily, my normal monthly expenses. So I said, again, thank you so much. Um, this is just not enough. They called me a third time to offer me the top of the salary range. Uh, so they had come up $10,000. Um, Again, I said, I have to think about it. Well, this time I said, I have to think about this because, um, you know, it's, to be honest, it still wasn't enough. The salary range, honestly, was just not high enough for me. Um, but I wanted to give them grace and consideration for the efforts that they were making. So I told them I would think about it. It was Thursday. I said I would think about it over the weekend. Um, Trying to do the math, the numbers, try to see if I could work something out since they really seemed to want me. Um, and I still came back and told them, so sorry, I can't take it. You're gonna have to come up to this number or and I gave them the number and otherwise I just won't be able to accommodate or I would not be able to accept the position. Never heard back from them again. Not worried about that at all, because I already knew this number was the number that would make things. It would give me the wiggle room um, to make things comfortable for me in case of emergencies. Because when you're thinking about salary, you can't just think about what you need to make to cover your current expenses, but emergencies, things that come up that are unexpected. And so, I had to be honest with myself and with them that this was just not going to work. And, their salary they were offering was just too low for what my not so much what my current needs are, but what I'm striving to achieve. So, in this particular situation, it didn't work out for me, being very hardball. And mind you, I was asking them for what I was asking for them, what I was asking them for was beyond what their salary range was. So I knew that it was a risk. I knew that I could walk away. It was not a big issue for me. Um, so I totally understand why they, didn't want to move forward. But don't feel money hungry. Don't feel poorly or badly about asking for more money. A lot of times we put these connotations on ourselves like, oh, we don't want to come across as money hungry or this, that. Who cares what they think? At the end of the day, I'm telling you, these companies, they have money to give. They don't want to. They want to get you as cheapest, lowest wholesale price that they can get you at, uh, to further their interests and their needs. And they're very selfish in what they're doing. And so don't feel bad, don't feel guilty about looking out for yourself. I have done this before, this the art of salary negotiation, and I've actually won out a couple of times. This is probably the first time it didn't work out for me, and I knew it was a risk. I said I was asking them for $7,000 over the top of their range. But I say this example to illustrate to you guys that companies have the money. What they give you is their lowball offer every time. You have to be willing to negotiate. Otherwise, once you get into that job, all you're going to get is a 3% for every year, if you get that every year. Um, and so your salary will be going up very incrementally. So start off with whatever that top number is that you need. Um, Knowing going in that there may not be another salary increase for a while, or if there is, it's just going to be pennies to the dollar of what you could have got if you had negotiated your salary effectively or at all. I hope this makes sense. Um, so that's some things to think about. With salary negotiation is a very big part of advocacy for yourself. Want to be going into a job, you want to be at a place where you're comfortable. I'm probably gonna go over 30 minutes. I can just let y'all know right now. I'm probably gonna go almost to 10, if not 10 without your hard stop. Um, going in, you don't want to be, I mean, sometimes the aim is I just need the job. I just need the money. I just need, to start making some income. But as time goes on, your job satisfaction, when you really realize what you're actually doing, not what they're telling you you're going to do, but what you're actually doing, your job satisfaction is going to start going down, especially when you realize you're not being compensated for all the stress and the frustration and the additional duties you didn't know that you were going to take. So salary negotiation is a big part of jobs. Also, when you get into a job, don't just stay in the same position for years. I was typecast a lot of times because I was so good at what I did, um, that I wasn't given people that want me to be they knew because of how good I was how good I was, that there was no one that's probably gonna match me in terms of of my skills and abilities. And so I never got opportunities to transition. Some employers transition into other roles and positions in the company because the supervisor never advocated for that or never um, released me to offer those to pursue those opportunities. I was never released from my current supervisor to pursue those opportunities. I spent a lot of time in one particular employer in the same job, same role, except to maybe towards the end. I was able to take on an additional role with the role I already had. Um, so I had to leave the company in order to be able to pursue other positions. Sometimes you do have to leave because what you want to be able to do is stack your skills. You want to be able to not just be good a one trick pony and good at one thing, but be able to stack your skills and have transferable skills so you can go into different types of positions or qualify for different types of positions outside the position you're currently doing. So if you feel like you're being blocked in your current role from pursuing other positions, you've been at the company for a while, you've been in at least 2 years, but yet you're stuck, so to speak, in the role you're in. You try to go for internal jobs, but you never get the job or you never even get interviewed for the job, then that might be an indicator that you need to start looking outside of the company. Um, because part of negotiation and self advocacy is being able to move into different roles. Your position, you should be transient in within the company. Um, After maybe 2 or 3 years of doing one job, you should be promoted either to a higher level position um, or transferred or be allowed to transfer into a position that allows you to attain other skills and abilities. So whether it's a transfer, whether it's a promotion, don't allow yourself to get pigeonholed and stuck in just one role or one thing, and that's all you do. That's all you learn, or you're not learning anything, and you become stagnant. So that's the art of self advocacy. After 2 or 3 years, you should be having conversations with your after 2 or 3 years, you should be having conversations with your supervisor about other opportunities within the company when you're having those appraisal meetings or just meeting with your supervisor one on one for your supervision. You should be having conversations with them about what other opportunities do they think that you would be good for? What if they don't think you're ready yet? What are they look what do they advise you that you do so that you can be ready for those positions? What opportunities are there for you to gather more skills or get additional training so that you can qualify for those additional roles? Let it be known, like, I love what I do here, but I'm ready to move on and move forward. I don't want to just be in this for 9, 10 years. I want to be able to expand my horizon. So there's nothing wrong with letting the supervisor know this, especially if you make it very clear that you want to remain with the company, but you want to be able to, spread your wings and plant some, uh, grow your roots into other things. Um, if the supervisor takes it personally or has an issue with that, then maybe they're not the supervisor for you because a supervisor, a really good one, should want you to expand your horizons and not keep you stuck in just one position and one role. They obviously don't have your best interest at heart. So, um, take into account their reaction to you asking for or advocating for yourself to grow and move into, adopt new skills and move into new roles. Take into account how they react to that, and that will tell you all you need to know. Um, So that's another part of self-advocacy. Once you get into your current role, you should be planning, especially after year two, transitioning into other roles and having candid conversations with your supervisor about so that they're not blindsided as well, right? You want to have that respect and that um, camaraderie with your supervisor so that they know, that you're um, looking to move into other roles within the company. And so they're not, you're not applying for other roles and they're like clueless as to the fact that you're doing that you've prepped them and primed them for that. So, um, man, it is ice. Um, also, so that's the things you need to think about in business. I mean, in career, right? We're going to move into business now, and what you should be doing to advocate for yourself if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner. But those are the things I want to encapsulate that you should be considering when you're in with an employer, you're a 9 to 5er, you're looking to advocate for yourself. Self advocacy is very, very important. And those are the ways you can advocate for yourself as a career professional. Now, in business, um, obviously, it's going to be a lot different, right? It's a different arena. It's a different arena, so it's going to be different avenues. Um, First thing is in business, um, you know, really understanding your worth is a big piece of all of this. Really, really understanding your worth and believing in yourself and what you can offer to this world. Um, and So start with that. You have to really believe in yourself. You have to really see and know your worth as a professional in general. Okay. And when you're in business, setting a price that you it's the same thing in a sense, but differently. Setting a price for your services, valuing the information, especially like coaching consulting. I'm mostly probably speaking of that. In coaching and in consulting is highly vital for you to if you feel you've reached a pinnacle in in terms of the knowledge that you've attained from being in business, that you can offer coaching and consulting, price yourself accordingly. Don't lowball yourself, right? Because you still have to put in the work. And if you're putting in the work at a lowball price, you're going to be resentful, and that's going to show up in how you present to your clients, right? And the things in your interactions with them. So don't lowball yourself in your pricing. If you come across someone that thinks your pricing is just out of their price range, or wants to make you feel badly about your pricing, or wants to just make you feel badly about charging, then they're not your customer. And that's okay. Not everybody's going to be your customer. But when you are living off of what you produce, right? You're self-employed and you're living off of what you produce. You have to take this into account, right? If there's no other income that you're living off of, to take into account what you that when it comes to your pricing. So advocacy looks like, sharing, all the knowledge. I mean, sharing the experience and the expertise and how long you've been in this, whatever it is that you are coaching or consulting in. You know, really not sharing your expertise, meaning that you're giving away free gems, give them little breadcrumbs along the way. Don't give all your gems away for free. But what I mean by is talking about, the experience that you put in to be that coach or that consultant or that mentor. Promoting all of that well, articulating that well, but also promoting that well on social media or any sort of ads that you do, uh, really highlighting your experience, your expertise, so that people feel like, you know, um, they're getting a qualified professional that's capable of helping them. Um, so that is that self-advocacy. Never downplay yourself in your pricing, right? Um, if you're not at the point where you feel you should be charging, then that's okay, right? Don't don't go into this coaching consulting thing hesitant. Like, oh, I don't want to charge, I don't want to, put people in it, baby in the corner and make people feel like they have to pay me. Listen, people pay for everything else. There is nothing for free. Water isn't free, gas isn't free, food isn't free. People are used to paying. You have to exude the confidence that people feel like that they should be paying for you too. You have to exude that. You can't, come in meek and mild and hesitant. People pick up on that. Trust and believe. So you have to exude that confidence, that bravado, not in a way that's cocky. You want to still have some level, I think it is attractive to have some level of humility as well. But you want to not be hesitant about saying your pricing. Someone asks you what your pricing, you said, oh yeah, it's $100 an hour, but we can work something out. If that doesn't work for you, we can maybe do $50, or we can put you on a payment plan. No, my pricing is $100 an hour, right? I'm not going to assume you can't pay that. I'm not gonna see how I can accommodate you before you tell me you need to be accommodated, right? Because obviously, if I'm hearing from you that you're willing to go down in your pricing for me before I've even said anything, before you even know that I can't pay that, then of course I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure, go down to like $50 or $25 instead, or put me on a payment plan or whatever, sure, right? don't assume that I can't pay you, because when you assume that, you know what they say, right? We make up what up yourself. So, you know, understandably, you want to be able to help people, but you also got to eat. And people pay for everything else. They can pay for you too. Okay. So be confident and advocate for yourself and why you deserve the pricing you deserve. Okay. Explain that to people, give them that background about you so that they can justify paying whatever price you ask them to. So that's how advocacy works, just from the jump. When it comes to that entry point of someone consulting, doing a discovery call with you, or inquiring about your services, say your pricing with your whole chest. Okay. Don't backpedal on it. Start backpedaling on it. People start losing faith and confidence in you. And then they may not even move forward with services because they feel like you're not too sure about yourself and what you're asking them to pay you. Maybe you don't have the backing or the confidence or the skills or the knowledge that you say you have. What else? And I'm just saying these things off the top of my head, y'all. I don't really prepare for these lives. Sometimes I do. I write a little something, but most of the time I'm just saying this off of experience, off of what I had, the bumps and bruises I've gone through along the way, and observations as well from others. Um, so be confident in what you charge for your services when you're in business. Whatever business you have outside even from coaching and consulting, if you're a service provider, say your price with your whole chest. Um, Advocacy also comes in your partnerships, the partnerships you seek in business. You really should always be continuously seeking, consistently seeking partnerships. That's how you grow in business. So, um, yeah, social media is great. I get why people use the social media. It's, you pick up your phone, posting some different things. It's quick, it's easy. You have it at the fingertips. But we got to also understand as business owners, we cannot use social media as a crutch. We have to do some behind the scenes. Some of those ABCs of business that were used before social media still apply today, still apply in 2026. Are you sending emails out to different folks or different organizations or business seeking out partnerships, especially ones that are bigger than you? You should be riding their coattails, right? Like to get more visibility, more exposure, to um, uh, build on each other's audiences and all this. You know, it can't just be social media, social media, social media. You should be doing behind the scenes stuff to build partnerships and relationships with either other folks, other people, other professionals, or other entities. Um, and that should be a continuous thing that you do, whether it's every week, whether it's every month. You should be continuously trying to seek out partnerships and do B2B, and advocate for yourself in that way and fashion. If you're just doing social media hoping that somebody will see your post or click on your post or reach out to you through social media, my opinion, you're doing it all wrong. And so I would highly suggest that that is at least 25% of the work that you're doing for your business is reaching out to companies that are aligned and have the same goals that you have to seek out partnerships and collaborations and advocating for yourself. Sometimes you might have to send the same company 2 or 3 emails. I've done it. Why not? Maybe they didn't see the first email. Maybe they're still thinking about it. Let's move the needle. Send them another one. Send them a follow. Oh, I haven't heard from you. I just wanted to follow up in case you might be interested. Blah blah blah. So what? Who cares? They may not be ready then, but they may be ready now, or they may be ready in the future, or they might they might have pinned, your email in their head, like, I'm gonna get back to them because although we're not ready now, we might be interested down the line. So they might stuck a pin in it, your email pin in it. They may not respond yet because they're not ready yet. They will be ready eventually. So do that background, do that back end work. Don't just rely on social media. You have these big box organizations, Meta, uh, TikTok, all these things that want you to pay for ads. So they will hide your posts, especially if they're promotional posts. They want you to pay for the ads. So you're limiting yourself and your ability to reach more people by completely being 100% dependent on social media. Not be dependent on social media. You have someone behind the scenes controlling an algorithm that decides whether or not your post will show or not. So whatever that you're seeking, those collaborations, those partnerships, that's not going to happen because someone decides that you should be paying for this post instead of getting that promotion for free. Got to do the back end work, the behind the scenes kind of stuff. You got to reach out, send the emails, pick up the phone. I've done that too. Cold call some folks, pick up the phone, cold call some organizations and businesses, leave some voicemails too. The strength is in the follow up game. All right. And the follow up game cannot just be social. So sorry, cannot be. You're handicapping yourself by doing. So advocate for your business and for yourself more about offline. Um, make it make it a point to advocate more for yourself offline. Not saying you have to do away with social media as well, but I myself have seen it where someone posts something days ago and I don't get it till 5 days later, right? I'm like, oh, and then I missed out on whatever it is that they were promoting or whatever event they were having because I didn't see it until it was too late. So just know and understand that you have to do stuff off of social media. Have events, promote whatever you're doing through an event. Have some online events if you don't have the money to rent a space, have some online events. I used to be putting a lot of events on Eventbrite, but I don't find that is really good in terms of targeting the audience that I want to target. It's very hard, even with ads, to get the right people, to get your ad or what you're doing or your event in front of the right people. I've now switched to Luma. I'm going to start doing more of my events on Luma. I see more people using Luma as well, so the community is growing there. So do more events where you promote whatever it is that your business does. Don't hesitate to charge for the events, even if it's a nominal fee. Your business has to make money. If you're not making any money and then you're doing all this free stuff, free promotion, lead magnets, but you're not getting any actual money coming in for your business, right? Because you're doing so much things for free, trying to lead people back to the paid services, then that might not be the best strategy. Okay. If something is not working, abort. Try something different. So have some paid events that you do, even if it's a nominal fee, get people in, and then those people are already primed and ready to pay because they paid to get into your event. So they're more likely to pay for services and continue paying because they're used to paying. So that's just a suggestion. So advocacy when it comes to partnerships and collaborations with others, advocacy when it comes to setting a price for what you offer, and standing behind it and not faltering or flip-flopping, right? Those are the things that kind of stand out to me that are very important when you're in business. Stand 10 toes down on what you do, how well you do it, that why you charge what you charge, and why other people should work with you. So we're coming to an end. I don't know if anyone has any questions as we come to an end. Those are the things that kind of stuck out to me, the major points I wanted to highlight. At the end of the day, and I'll leave you with this, at the end of the day, your livelihood is what's important. Cost of living is continuously going up. I have conversation after conversation with people about this. Americans, middle class Americans, working class Americans are hurting right now. And it's causing the economy is built on the backs of the middle class. They're the ones that sustain it. We're the ones that are shopping and keeping this machine going. And we're hurting so badly, we're not spending the way we are, and businesses are increasing their prices because they're not getting as much of a demand and they have to sustain themselves as well. So I say all this to say, as being quote unquote the little people, the middle class Americans, as representing that, got to advocate for yourself now more than ever, whether it's asking for more money in a role that you're seeking, whether it's asking to be promoted or transition to another role where you can make more money within the company you work for currently, or seeking a role outside the company where you can make more money, or asking for training opportunities with the company that you're currently at. You have to do whatever it is that's necessary to make sure that you're comfortable and that your life does not feel like you're in survival mode day in, day out. Okay. I recently discovered, because I'm looking to pursue, as I said, my doctorate. And I recently discovered a website called Scholarship Out. Okay. I know I'm going somewhere with this. I discovered a website called Scholarship Out that gives away in a small little monetary scholarships to folks that are looking to further themselves, whether with secondary education or mentorship, right? So if you are like, I'm stagnant in my current job position because I don't have the additional education to accelerate in my career, use Scholarship Out as an opportunity, as a resource to find additional funding to further your education. So you don't always have to go to student loans, financial aid. There's opportunities out there where you can piecemeal a bunch of different, um, awards, financial awards, right? To be able to for education, whether you're looking to get a certificate or something of that matter, to be able to do so, you can have that funded free of cost to you. If what you want or need is mentorship, right? Because mentorship is not cheap anymore. The market has grown for mentorship and coaching, and people are pricing themselves accordingly, as they should, if they actually have the experience and knowledge that they say they do and they're as successful as they say they are. You can get scholarships and financial awards towards mentorship on Scholarship Out. I saw two recently. I'll post about that in the chat. Make sure you're a subscriber so you can get access to that information. So instead of you pulling out of your own resources, which may be limited, to pay for mentorship, you can get this scholarship, this financial award towards your getting mentorship. And they're not small. I mean, for mentorship, $1,000 can go a long way, especially with us, with Wite Collar. $1,000 can get you almost 9 months of mentorship. So where you can learn an additional skill set that you can monetize, or refine a skill set you already have so you can monetize it. So there's opportunities out there. For me, I don't ever feel like there's a lack of resources. I feel like there's a lack of motivation, because you can put you can give someone a buffet of resources and they still do nothing. They'll still sit and say, I can't do this. I don't have the means. I don't, I got all this. They'll find excuse after excuse after excuse. So I come from a psychotherapy background. Okay. I've done that for many, many years. And so I'm very in tune with that, right? You can give everybody, you can give anyone all the things, a buffet of all the resources out there, teach them the skills, all of that. And then they still might sit on their hands, right? They still might make excuses. So I'm telling you about the resources. If you feel like you're priced out for mentorship, there are scholarship awards where you can get for mentorship. If you feel like you're priced out for a certain certification you want to pursue, there's scholarship awards for you to get that certification or that further education. There is no excuse for no one right now. With you having the internet, access to internet, access to AI now, there is a plethora of information out there at your fingertips. What you now have to assess is if you actually want to make a change in your life, if you actually want the thing that you say you want. That's what you have to assess. Are you willing to put in the work now? So anyway, I am at the tail end of my discussion. This live will be for paid subscribers only. They're now only doing paid lives because in my humble opinion, what I'm offering is a form of coaching and mentorship, especially the information and the gems that I am dropping, and um, and gems that I'm dropping that I've learned from lived experience. And so I'm not going to give the milk away. You got to buy the cow. Okay. So, and it's not even that expensive to become a subscriber on, for someone on Substack. So it's probably the price of what you would get or less than the price of what you get for a Burger King combo. Okay. So if you want the information, but then you have to invest in getting that information. So this will be moving forward, we will be doing paid subscriber lives, but I think they give you a little screening or preview of the live. So hopefully that will spark your interest. Also, coming up soon, next Tuesday, we're having a mini career fair, a virtual mini career fair. So if there's any areas of interest, careers, industries you want to explore before making that switch, you can join us for our mini career fair. I will give you the information so that you can text us for more directions or instructions on that mini career fair. That text, I don't know that number by heart. I am so sorry, y'all. I knew the 1-800 number by heart, but this number just is not sinking into my brain. And this is our business line. It's not our personal cell phone number or anything like that. This is our business line that you can text in order to find out about the mini career fair, which is just next Tuesday, just a few days away. And happy August 1st, by the way. I didn't even acknowledge that we're out to August. So this year will be up before you know it. But I'm gonna give you the number, so you can text us, if you're interested in that virtual mini career fair, where our focus is gonna be on Black business or career professionals, um, and, in helping them pursue whatever pursuits they have, um, and connecting with folks that can help them achieve those pursuits and be successful. Right. So I'm going to give you guys that phone number in a second. Sorry, too slow. If you want to know more about the mini career fair, and it's in honor, we're doing it. Bring back the mini career fairs in honor of Black Business Month. You can text us at 984-477-9791, 984 477-9791. About the mini career fair, a virtual career fair. You ain't got to nobody's building, get dressed up, use your gas, drive somewhere. You don't have to do any of that. It's a virtual career fair. It's going to be from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. So a 30-minute one, meet greet with some mentors, pick their brains, decide if this whatever career pursuit or business pursuit is for you, because we also are touching on business, and go from there. So you can text us about the mini career fair at 984-477-9791. I'm out, y'all. Peace. Bye.